Sound. Ayun. Good afternoon po, Honorable Prosecution Panel. First off po, to Prosec Lord Ansuan. Sir, Prosec, you're one of the new faces of the prosecution panel. Paano po kayo nag-prepare? Paano nyo po pinaghandaan yung decision ninyo? Given yung mas tanong na rin ng aking co-reporters, the political climate and atmosphere of this topic has been highly tensioned. But you are from Mindanao and you decided to be a prosecutor. How did you prepare for this decision, sir?
Yes, I am a Mindanaoan from Cagayan de Oro, and my being a Mindanaoan is precisely the reason why I take this duty very seriously. Because we're not just talking about other people's money, we're also talking about the taxpayers that Mindanaoans are paying. And I believe that no region, whether it is Luzon, Visayas, or Mindanao, no family, no official should be elevated above the Constitution or even above the investigations of the COA. And we are not here to go against or to move against or for any person. We are here for the process. And if nothing wrong was done, then the process itself will show it. And I think that's what we owe to every Filipino, including Mindanaoans.
Follow up po. Thank you. As Prosec Lawrence Defensor said, malaking kalaban ninyo yung fake news. Sa social media ngayon, ang pinaiikot na naratibo ng ilang mga trolls ay parang pulo-pulo yung nagiging laban na parang Mindanaoan does take a stand behind BP Sara Duterte and as if yung laban is not about accountability but versusan ng mga pulo. As a Mindanaoan, sir, would you like to debunk that na yung narrative na pinaiikot na paggaling sa Mindanao, automatic anti-impeachment?
Kaya nga yung pinakamalaking kalaban natin dito sa buong impeachment process ay yung fake news talaga. Because we are talking about accountability here, and accountability does not respect regional bias. So dapat yung totoo ang manaig, and hopefully everyone can come together and decide whether what we are sharing is really news or fake news. Yung pinakauna dyan, check natin yung source ng sinishare natin, kung troll account ba yan, or kung totoong media outlet. So I think we should go back to the concern of the prosecutors that one of our biggest enemies here is fake news.
Thank you, Prosec. For Prosec's Defensor, Dilima, Luisio, and Joke na po, I just to collate a heavy legal and a firm stand. Last Senate, they deemed it enough, even they were already convened, to return the articles of impeachment to the House of Representatives. One being the reason is yung petisyon sa Korte Suprema. Ngayong taon po, clearly, nag-convene na ang Senate Impeachment Court, kasado na ang prosecution panel, pero it's also not a secret that the Vice President is still running and seeking forum from the Supreme Court. Pero sinasabi rin po nila na handa silang irespeto ang jurisdiction ng Senado at humarap sa trial. Is this a legally conflicting stand? And dapat po ba sa pre-trial pa lang, kumpirmahin na ng kampo ni BP Sara Duterte kung haharap ba sila sa proseso, irerespeto ang jurisdiction ng Senado, o magpapasaklolo sa Korte Suprema? Thank you po.
Of course, it is the prerogative of the defense team to elevate any issue which they believe consists of constitutional question to the Supreme Court. Nevertheless, even if there are pending petitions in the Supreme Court, this should not hamper or delay the impeachment trial, especially considering that there is no temporary restraining order or injunction issued by the Supreme Court for that matter. That is why earlier I said we commend the impeachment court. We are very much positive that they convened pursuant to the mandate of the Constitution, that is forthwith. Nonetheless, we are trying to solicit the support of our beloved countrymen that what is being mandated to be forthwith is not only the convening. What is being mandated to be forthwith is the trial. And by trial, it means presentation of evidence presentation of witness, and which will lead to the decision of the impeachment court of either acquittal or conviction. So of course, we understand what happened last time back in the 19th Congress, but we are very much positive. We're hopeful this time that we will immediately proceed to pre-trial as announced already by the impeachment court yesterday, as well as trial, no? So we are looking forward for dates as to when the pre-trial and the trial will be held, as soon as all the responsive pleading, such as the answer from the respondent and the reply from the prosecution, are submitted to the impeachment court. We are adhering to the mandate of the Constitution, which says trial forthwith.
On my end, excited na po akong bumalik sa court. Namimiss ko na yung paglilitis ng kaso. At wala kaming nakikitang sagabal sa trial. The Senate as an impeachment court has already set the pre-trial and the trial of the case, and we will respond accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you po. Last from my end, to Prosec Lawrence Defensor. Sir, hi. Kahit po napurnada ng isang buong taon yung impeachment case laban kay VP Sara Duterte, you remained with your stand na yung grave threats pa lang ay enough na for conviction. Pero sir, playing devil's advocate lang, maraming nagpapaugong ng naratibo na hindi naman daw na-consummate yung banta dahil lang ang pagkakalagay daw ng premise, dapat may mangyari munang masama sa vice-presidente bago niya gawin. Pero sir, isn't that a moral disregard and also a legal disregard of the threat that already happened? At paano nyo po titindigan na dito pa lang ay dapat guilty na si VP Sara Duterte, sir?
Abangan nyo na lang sa trial kung paano namin ipipresenta para makumbinsi kita.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Earl. We will now call Gab Lalo from Philippine Daily Inquirer.
Hello po. Yung tanong ko premised on the fact na si VP Sara Duterte noon sabi niya gusto niya ng hearing sa Congress para ma-defend niya na hindi siya pumunta. And then sabi niya before na gusto niya rin ng bloodbath sa Senate pero hindi pa natin nakikita yon kung pupunta siya. Possible po bang mag-proceed yung trial without the Vice President attending or her legal team participating in the trial?
And under the Senate rules, even if the Vice President would opt not to attend, kahit hindi siya mag-attend, or kahit hindi siya mag-file ng answer, o kahit walang defense team nagdumating, trial will still continue. Those instances will only be considered as an entry of a plea of not guilty. So ulitin natin, kahit hindi dumating ang Vice Presidente, kahit hindi siya mag-file ng answer, kahit hindi dumating yung defense lawyers nila, tutuloy pa rin ang trial. Ang magiging effect lang nitong instances na to, it will be considered as an entry of a plea of not guilty.
So yung mga judges po ang mag-enter parang po sa court proceedings. Sila po ang mag-enter ng plea for the Vice President. Ganun po ba yan?
It is deemed an entry of not guilty, but the rule does not say that the senator judges will be the one to make that entry.
Ma'am, on that point, kung magtutuloy yung trial, kasi if I remember correctly, nung proceedings po natin sa House Committee on Justice, parang si Congressman Chuay nagsabi na, kaya naman nag-rule yung committee na may probable cause dahil wala naman prinesentang ebidensya yung defense to counter the evidence presented sa mga sa mga complaints. Should it happen na hindi mag-present hindi pumunta si VP Sara and her counsel, does this mean that the senator judges would have no basis to acquit her? Dahil hindi naman po nagpresenta ng ebidensya.
Well, it still depends on the appreciation and judgment of the senator judges, no? But of course, it is very hard to conceive how you will consider the defense of the respondent vice president if not a single evidence is being presented, no? Tama ka dun sa pangyayari sa Justice Committee, the threshold is very low, probable cause lang, which is reasonable justification to be able to proceed to trial. Wala ni isang ebidensya ang naipresenta ng Vice President. As a matter of fact, she and her lawyers did not appear. So, all the evidence of the complainants appear as unrebutted, unquestioned, uncontroverted. And considering that the threshold is only probable cause, of course, it is reasonable to anticipate that there will be a finding of probable cause. Now, with regards to the trial, if they will not be appearing, it will depend really on the appreciation and judgment of the senator judges if the evidence of the prosecution, considering the absence of the evidence of the defense, will be enough for them to render a judgment of conviction.
Pero is it safe to say that VP Sara would put herself at a disadvantage if she would not attend? Kasi ito na yung last chance niya to dispute or refute the evidence.
I believe that it will be disadvantageous for her if she will not be presenting her evidence because there's already evidence presented by the complainant and the same evidence will be presented before the impeachment court. If this evidence will continue to be unrebutted, uncontroverted, there is a possibility that the senator judges will be appreciating the evidence in favor of conviction. But of course, as I have said earlier, it will depend entirely on the appreciation and judgment of the senator judges.
So, ma'am, sorry, last question on my end. Is it possible, ibig sabihin po ba possible na ma-acquit pa rin si VP Sara despite the defense panel not presenting any evidence kasi it is up to the senator judges?
As far as we are concerned, the evidence of the prosecution is strong. Pero kung dadating yung sitwasyon na ebidensya lang ng prosecution ang malalatag at walang ebidensyang mailalatag ang defense, perhaps for the reason that they will not appear, that will be an exclusive judgment of the senator judges. But of course, the sovereign Filipino people will be watching. If there is no evidence from the defense and only the evidence of the prosecution are presented, yes, it is an exclusive judgment of the senator judges, but let us all be reminded that the sovereign Filipino people will be watching.
Thank you. Thank you, Gab. Red Mendoza from Manila Times.
Ma'am, I have 3 questions po, ma'am. Ma'am, I talked to two people, one from Mindanao and one from Luzon. And they said na they hated the impeachment possible vice president. They are not, ayaw nila na, hindi nila boses yung nangyari sa impeachment trial. Filipinos, some of the Filipinos that voted for you don't agree with what's happening with the impeachment trial. What's your thought po na hindi lahat ng mga bumoto sa inyo or lahat ng constituents ninyo ay pabor sa impeachment trial? And again, 32 million voted for the vice president. Are you scared of a pushback from the 32 million who supported the vice president? Notwithstanding na yung mga sinasabi ng mga ng voting doon sa House ay maraming Mindanaoan daw ang bumoto, which is equivalent daw doon sa population ng bumoto sa kanila. But that is not the case kasi some of the people I've talked to, they said hindi nila gusto yung nangyayari ngayon sa impeachment.
Alam mo kasi what you should remember, this is a constitutional duty. By duty, this is not our choice. This is obligatory on our part to push for this proceeding, no? This is not a question of gusto ba namin o ayaw namin. No. This is a duty and therefore we have no choice but to push forward.
If I may add,
Una ka, ma'am.
thank you. This duty is bigger than all of us. this duty is enshrined and mandated by no less than the Constitution and actually imposed by the Filipino people. So this is bigger than any one of us, and this is bigger and far more primordial than any personal or political concerns.
Kung may taga Iloilo na hindi pabor sa impeachment at hindi pabor na naging prosecutor ako sa impeachment na ito, paglilingkuran ko pa rin sila habang congressman nila ako. Magkasundo man kami o hindi sa impeachment na ito.
Next question na lang po. Kasi right now po, so far po yung mga observations po ng ilan sa ating mga kababayan sa social media is kayo daw po or most of the congressmen who received or who voted for the impeachment ay naka-receive daw po ng maleta, ng pera, or naka-receive daw po ng 20 million or any amount notwithstanding. These are the people that na sinasabi din yun po na some of them are trolls. Pero of course, hindi naman lahat sila, yun ang paniwala nila. Yun ang paniniwala nila. How can you combat yung ganitong paniniwala na hindi nyo sinisiraan yung kanilang political or political thinking na hindi kami nagkakatanggap ng ganitong pera, pero hindi kami nakatanggap ng ganitong pera. We did this because we believe in the case.
Una sa lahat, tingin ko hindi na dapat i-dignify yung question kasi it's basically an accusation without basis. Di ba, Red? So, kung may maleta, nasan yung maleta? Kung may 20 million, nasan yung 20 million? So, I don't think that deserves an actual comment from the panel of prosecutors today.
And my last question na lang po. Ano pong end all and be all po nito? I mean, people, sinasabi na nga, iba, dapat talunin na lang si Vice President Sara Duterte sa election. I mean, yun nga, dapat talunin na siya sa election kasi ang end all and be all nito is removal from office. She announced her role or she announced that she will run in 2028 elections, in the 2028 elections. Marami ang nagsasabi na pag nawala si Vice President Sara, a more friendlier Vice President would be appointed. So ano po ang end all and be all nitong impeachment
End
trial
all
na
and
ito?
be all of this impeachment process is accountability. We owe it to our people. We owe our being elected to our people. We have to show them that we follow the Constitution, that sila ang pinagsisilbihan natin at hindi tayo gumagawa ng pagtataksil sa bayan. So accountability po ang end all and be all nito.
One last follow-up. Pag ang constituent ninyo nagtanong na iboboto namin si VP Sara sa election, what are you going to do?
Parang si Boy Abunda.
This is what democratic country is all about. We're free to choose our leaders. But please understand, the 11 prosecutors, we are simply responding to a constitutional duty. As a matter of fact, with all due respect to our constituents, this is not a question of natutuwa ba sila o hindi. Gusto ba nila o hindi. This is a duty which we really have to face.
Thank you.